I'm back from Spain, so let's do some catching up. First up, Obsession. Obsession has a premise that we've seen variations of in a lot of horror films before, a desperate, lonely character making a wish that has deadly, horrific consequences. And a lot of those films tend to be really trashy, generic, piece of shit horror films with the most basic acting, basic writing, directing, blah blah blah, but not Obsession. What sets this film apart from all those other horror films with similar premises and similar ideas is simply the acting, the directing, and the overall execution. Curry Baker, I believe, is the name of the director. I'm not familiar with that name. I've never seen anything else they've done to my knowledge. This might be the directorial debut, might not be. Point is, I want to see more from this director because they clearly give a shit about the genre and they give a shit about this premise and just making it as uncomfortable and as disturbing as possible, but entertainingly and deliriously so. And the director just pulls it off with so much skill. That's why I want to know if it's his first. In fact, give me one sec. It's not his first film, it's actually his second film. But even then, his second film as a director and achieving something this effective and this disturbing is really damn impressive. That's even more exciting, so we get to see his career just get even better, hopefully, with his future films. But I have to jump on the bandwagon and talk about Indy Navarrete, if that's how you pronounce her name. Oh my god, talk about a breakout, memorable performance. I don't recall seeing her in anything before. This is the first time I've seen her in anything. And just like the director, she's also going to go places because she is extremely effective at making you extremely uncomfortable and disturbed. Yeah, this film primarily worked because of her. If they would have got a shittier actress to portray Nikki or Freaky Nikki, whatever the hell you want to call her, this film would not nearly have been as effective, but she absolutely knocked it out of the park. The other actors in the film are good as well, but she is clearly the standout, and it's a performance and a horror character that I'm going to remember for quite a while. Something else I really, really liked about this film was the music by Rock Burwell. Very 80s, very Stranger Things-esque, very dreamy in the way it kind of just soothes over the film. I've already gone to Spotify, listened to it again, and I just absolutely adore it. I'm an 80s nutcase, and I just love how 80s and retro this musical score felt. It was amazing. I also really appreciated how the film did not over-explain and answer all of its questions, mainly pertaining to the One Wish Willow. There are some hints as to what's going on, but it's mostly kind of ambiguous, and you're left to kind of guessing what exactly is going on when the wish gets granted. And I love that. I love that your imagination starts running wild in terms of, wait, so that happened, so that means that this happened and that happened. I love that thing. I love that there was no generic cliche scene where the main character tracks down, the person in the, decrepit cabin and they're like got the candle lit, exposition dump about the whole thing, like you see in a lot of other these shitty piece of crap horror films. But I think it also leaves the door open for some potentially compelling sequels because a wish can be various different kinds of things. A different character can wish for something else, and it can be a completely different thing than having a girlfriend or the love of your life or something, and it can have a different series of events. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's been successful at the box office so far. I just hope that they don't do what they do with 98% of the horror films where they franchise it and every single film afterwards is just a piece of shit shadow of the original that started the whole thing. You know me by now when it comes to hyped and acclaimed horror films. I always go in treading quite carefully. But Obsession was a hyped and acclaimed horror film that actually lived up to that hype. It was really good. Next up, The Punisher One Last Kill, the Punisher special that came to Disney+. I just gotta say that after the cancellation of the Netflix Marvel shows, I'm just really happy that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios actually brought back all those actors and characters to play those characters again and continue their stories, because Jon Bernthal was born to play the Punisher. You can just feel his passion for this character in every single second he is on screen acting as Frank Castle. Does One Last Kill tell us anything new about Frank Castle as a character that we didn't already know? Not entirely. We know about his backstory, we know about his family, we know about his PTSD, we know about his insane damage. But I think this special achieved what it set out to do, which is provide an entertaining showcase of Frank Castle and the Punisher, who he is, what's his purpose, all in a 45-minute action-packed bloodbath of awesome. I love how stripped down and self-contained this special felt. It all takes place pretty much in one street, primarily in one apartment block. Frank Castle has killed what he believes are the last remaining people connected to the death of his family. He's now trying to decide what his next step is, what's his purpose. The surviving matriarch of that family tracks him down, puts a bounty on his head, all the scumbag dipshit criminals of the neighborhood converge on the apartment building and let the carnage commence. I know I said this with both seasons of Daredevil Born Again, but once again, I just want to express my surprise and gratitude to Disney for letting Punisher and Daredevil, etc., be violent, be brutal, be gritty, be mature. Some of the kills that Frank does in here, I'm just like, I can't believe I'm watching a Disney production right now, because he is slicing people's throats, shooting people in the face, blood splats on the wall behind him. He literally just gets a big, massive knife and just stabs it right in that guy's throat, and he's like, and he's just like, wow, Disney. Bravo. This is exactly what the Punisher should be. This is exactly how the Punisher should be presented. And I'm just happy that Disney did not handcuff Marvel Studios and make a watered down, squeaky clean Punisher for, the family audiences. We're going to get a little bit of that in Spider-Man Brand New Days. Obviously not going to be stabbing people in the throat and, F-bombing all the time. His mouth's going to be webbed shut for that, as we saw in the trailer. But still, the Punisher is still the Punisher. Jon Bernthal is still kicking ass as the character. He's still awesome as Frank Castle. You feel that in here. And like I said, this special just provided us a great showcase for the character, both his complexities and his damage, how compelling of a character he is, but also his awesome badass brutality when it comes time to start killing folks. I want to see more Punisher, and honestly, this street level part of the MCU with Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, basically the Netflix characters now on Disney Plus, is honestly one of my favourite parts of the MCU now going forward. Can't wait for Born Again Season 3. I want to see another Punisher special. Why not do a Punisher series? Give him another shot. But I also want to see more special presentations. I forgot how good of a format this is for the more self-contained stories, and they've done 3 so far, and I've really enjoyed all 3 of them. The holiday special for Guardians of the Galaxy being my personal favourite. So Obsession and the Punisher One Last Kill. Did you watch them? What did you think about them? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.